Bible. And the question, can we trust the Bible, is a dumb question. Of course you can trust the Bible. Like, you can trust anything. The question is it reasonable to trust the Bible? And that's the biggest question in the world, obviously. You're never going to answer that in I'm going to try and speak for 10 minutes. So I'm just focusing on one argument because I've come up against it twice, particularly with friends, and also I'm at uni, in a really great way. It wasn't in a mean way, it was a good way. But I just thought it would be helpful or interesting to think through the circular argument. So yes, it is kind of going to be a bit philosophical. I hope people don't hate that too much. I hope it's helpful. So overview, I just want us to quickly think through how do we know things. I want us to think through what is a circular argument. I want to then think, is the Bible based upon a circular argument? And then I want to think about the circular argument, the counter argument. You can just get rid of one of the arguments there. I also want us to think at the end of this, how does this kind of stuff actually help us grow deep? I mean, what's the point? And then I just want to leave it open for general discussion. So first up, just how do we know things? This is some people hate these questions, so I apologise if that's you and you're oh man, there's still a chance to leave. I want you to turn to the person next to you and ask them, it's one of these questions. How do you know things? What is the basis of your knowledge? This is the classic one. When you say that you know the sun will rise tomorrow, why do you believe that? And also, what is the ultimate basis of your knowledge? So just turn to the person next to you, ask one of those questions. You've got 30 seconds, go for it. You'll answer.
Please tell us the answer. We go to someone who writes very something in the past, so there's a pattern or something.
We don't actually know. We just assume
okay. Yep. Yeah, no, that's
no
true.
confidence except that hope. Please do it again.
Yeah.
Please do it again.
But if you were to sit on that chair and everything else, there's a difference between assumption and knowledge then.
Well, something makes sense. You take the insane that's not going to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the scientific method.
Okay.
So that's
Okay, there is going to be more time to chat about these at the end, so I'm sure you'll figure it all out now. You don't have to need this. You've probably, hopefully, can I just get in one word or two what people are saying? Just one word or a few?
Experts.
Experts, yeah? Experience, yeah? Experience, experts. Observation, yep. What was that one? Reason? Oh, I think somebody's cheating. No. But the idea is that when we're asking the question, what is the ultimate basis of your knowledge, we're asking a question about what is the final authority in your life, or what is, final authority, why do you ultimately believe that? And in philosophy, this is a very simplistic take on it, but they categorize it into three final authorities: experience, reason, and testimony. And so, which we kind of covered, which was awesome. Experience, I'll only believe it if I can see it, smell it, hear it, touch it, taste it, or experience it in some way, shape, or form. Reason, that's the idea that I'll only believe it if it makes sense to me. And testimony is the idea that I'll only believe it if someone I trust tells me it's true. They're all considered, there's lots of debates about all of them, but they're all generally considered to be the basis of our knowledge. So I just want to park that to the side for 2 seconds and then quickly talk about, if I can get started, circular arguments. So what is a circular argument? A circular argument is our first one. It will rain tomorrow because it will rain tomorrow. And you can see how you can just keep going on because it will rain tomorrow. Whereas the non-circular argument would be, it will rain tomorrow because the Bureau of Meteorology says so, or something like that. Can anybody see what's the problem with the circular argument?
Because in the Bible, you say, I believe it because it's in the Bible, and the Bible is because it's in the Bible.
Yeah,
it's in the Bible.
Exactly, that's where we're going. And the idea is that the problem with circular arguments is that you're kind of basing your argument on what you want to prove. Like, you're wanting to prove that it will rain tomorrow. So simply saying it will rain tomorrow, that's just like asserting fact at people. It's not good reasoning. It actually has no reason. Circular arguments do not give a reason, and so for that reason, most people would say, this is going to get very trippy, most people would say circular arguments are in general always bad. So the question is the Bible a circular argument? Really simply, short answer, yes. There's an entire way of thinking about it that says no. So I'm just putting that out there. You can actually argue completely against this. But in general, if I was with some non-Christians, trying to explain how the work of God in my life, Holy Spirit, witness of other people, all those things coming together can be really complicated. So maybe if I was talking to them and they really just kept pushing me, I would eventually, this is the worst possible way to say it, say something along these lines. The Bible is true because the Bible says the Bible is true. That's maybe, that's the worst possible, most provocative possible way you could say it. So if you ever want to really frustrate someone, say that. And then your friend or someone, even a Christian, could go, aha, well then, this is their argument. The Bible is based upon a circular argument. All circular arguments are unreasonable, therefore Christians are unreasonable. And so that links us to our topic. Is it reasonable to trust in the Bible? And so all I'm doing here is I'm not going to be able to prove is it reasonable to trust in the Bible. I'm never going to be able to do that. But what I'm trying to show is that this argument can't be used in this way, because the counter-argument goes like this. All final authorities, including experience, reason, and testimony, are based upon circular arguments. We do not dismiss these final authorities based upon this issue alone. That's really crucial, this issue alone. The Bible claims to be a final authority. Therefore, we do not dismiss the Bible based upon this issue alone. If we do want to dismiss it, we must do so based upon other grounds. That's the core of the argument, probably. And just to clarify, what's one of those other final authorities? Experience. I'll only believe it if I can see it. And then my good friend, let's call him Daniel Budd, comes up to me and says, well, why do you believe that? And I'm like, well, because I can see it. But why do you believe that? Well, because I can see it. And hopefully it becomes clear that experience, that's a circular argument as my final authority. Same with reason. I'll only believe it if it makes sense. Well, why do you believe that? Because it makes sense. Same with testimony. I'll only believe it if someone I trust tells me it's true. Well, why do you believe that? Because someone I trust tells me it's true. So another way of thinking about it, though, is that people might say experience and then say, oh, because it makes sense. And then you're like, oh, well, why do you believe that? Oh, because of testimony. Oh, because it makes sense. Reason, experience, testimony. And you go around in a circle like that. So it's either a big circle or a small circle. The idea is that if something is claiming to be a final authority, the ultimate basis of your knowledge, it has to be circular, because otherwise there'd be some other reason, something else that would be the final authority of your life. And so that brings us back to the question, if we're going okay with that. Yeah. Is it reasonable to trust the Bible if it rests on a circular argument? I want to suggest, this is a suggestion, Christians are no different from anyone else, except the Bible actually claims to be a final authority. It claims to be God's word. And I want to suggest that experience and reason, there's nothing in them that suggests that they should be a final authority in that way. And we actually know they fall well short. And same with authority. We know how badly testimony can fall short of being a final authority. That doesn't mean we dismiss them entirely, but it's just interesting. Then, secondly, I think there are good historical grounds for believing the Bible to be a final authority. And finally, the Bible is not opposed to the other authorities. They actually support it. And each one of those points is kind of like another 20-minute seminar in and of itself. So I'm just going to leave those points there, and we can talk about them later in discussion if we want. So just a quick summary. This is the crux of the argument. All final authorities are based on circular arguments. We do not dismiss them based upon this issue alone. You can dismiss, what do I mean by that? So experience. You could dismiss someone's experience because, not because it's circular, but because, maybe you're just oh, but you weren't actually there. Do you know what I mean? There can be other good reasons for dismissing a final authority, but the circular argument alone isn't enough to dismiss it. So therefore I'm suggesting that if the fact that the Bible is a circular argument, if it is, that alone isn't enough to dismiss it. I'm really keen to chat about questions, but I just think it's really important to ask, how does this stuff, like thinking through deeply on these questions, actually help us grow deep? And I just want to share personally that, I find sharing my faith and when I've gone on mission, and even just like sharing it with friends, has like helped me grow deep in a way that, nothing else has, because I've seen it change lives, it's changed my life, and I'm like, wow, like this is real, like the gospel changes lives, it's incredible. But the Bible's really clear that like sharing our faith involves prayer, it involves persuasion and reasoning. Like Paul's ministry was he calls it one of persuasion. He says he reasoned from the scriptures. And I think it's really difficult to be confident in sharing our faith if like deep down we're like, ooh, but it's unreasonable. Like it's really hard. I found it really hard before I like started digging in really deep to the questions that I had, and I'm sure we all have different questions. I just had them sitting there. I'm like, I know they're there, but I didn't really bother following them up until really in the past 2-3 years. So that kind of just stunted me from sharing my faith, because I'm like, oh, the minute I share this, I know people can tear it apart. And so I just think that we have a responsibility to do everything we can with the resources we have, which are numerous, to be reasonable in what we claim to believe, I think. So that's why I think these questions can really help us grow deep. And just a final point is that we really shouldn't do this though in isolation of seeking to actually follow Jesus, because Jesus is really clear. And there's so many things I can say on this verse, but anyone who chooses to do the will of God will find out whether my teaching comes from God or whether I speak on my own. Ultimately, the way we grow in our confidence and trust in God's word, I think, is just by following Jesus. And I've just found that, that's been the most convincing thing for me. But that doesn't mean that that's somehow in antithesis to reason or thinking through the questions. I just really wanted to point that out. So thanks for listening. I'm just going to open it up to questions. Any questions in general? And it's totally okay if you're like, that doesn't make sense, or you're wrong. I could be wrong. I could be, definitely. Did anyone have any questions in general, or about anything I said? No? Well, here's a question for you. Turn to the person next to you and ask, what about other religious texts? Ask them what even is a final authority. Ask them, does the Bible actually claim to be a final authority? And ask them how you think other authorities support it. I'll give you a few minutes to do that, and then I'll share my thoughts on other religious texts. So just turn to the person next to you, ask whichever question you find interesting, and go for it.
Hey, Pete. Can we ask you a question now?
Yeah.
What's the most dumbfounding argument that anyone has brought to you in this debate?
Trickiest argument? Probably evil and suffering. Yeah, so how can a good God allow evil? And I've read some really good arguments on that.
So it's not reasonable to trust that the Bible is true.
Yeah. Because I find because this is there's de facto arguments, which is questions about the truth of the Bible, and there's de jure arguments, which don't explicitly contradict it, but it's really hard to see how a good God and evil coexist, which has significant implications for something like the Bible. So I find those ones probably also because it just I've got good reasonable arguments for them, but then when you're just confronted with the reality of people telling you horrible things that have happened, and you're trying to explain a logical argument or how you can trust God in that. Do you know what I mean? So that's sort of what I find actually more difficult than the de facto arguments, which is the Bible is not true for logical grounds. I find it more about when it's genuinely real life situations, and that's probably where I'm at.
We'll talk about that. That is important.
Yeah, that's probably I've been amazed at how many of the de facto arguments about logic and reasoning the Bible actually holds up under. I'm just whoa, every question I've had, somebody's already thought through it. It's amazing. So that's what I love. Yeah. I'll let you guys check this out.
You guys met Courtney.
Hey, Courtney.
This is Anna and Josie.
Nice to meet you. Hello.
This is Courtney.
Hello.
Is Okay, can we first just go to what is the final authority? Because I was just like, wait, what? I thought I knew it, then I'm like, wait, maybe I missed.
Isn't God the final authority? Or Jesus or the Spirit or one in all? Really?
Saying from a philosophical school of thought, there's three categories for things that can be final authority. So it can be either experience that you have, reason that you do in your brain, or like the reports of somebody else.
So essentially, it's illogical.
So, well, no, they're all different. Experience isn't logical. Experience is
Yeah,
just
it's
what
logical
happens.
because you can physically see it. That makes it logical.
Yeah, but our experiences is so subjective. Like,
And also by experience you can hallucinate, so
whereas the Bible would come under testimony as a final authority. Like it would fit in that
But
category.
wouldn't the Bible fit under experience? Because you can experience that as well.
It's someone else's.
You're experiencing it by like
Only if you wrote it. Well, if you experience
seeing
something
it,
real,
hearing it, like yeah.
yeah, like if you read it and then you felt a certain way, you would go, well, this feeling is true. Therefore, what I read is true.
Yeah.
That's the easy experience. But that's coming from testimony.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're all interrelated.
Yeah.
Is that help?
Yeah.
So yeah, you could use your experience all three of these things.
Yeah. I don't really have much knowledge on other religious texts.
I know. Oh, what's it called? I forget what it's called. That one.
Have you read it?
I've read like half of it.
Wow.
I got bored. Like,
Which one's that one again?
Muslim, yeah. It's one where every Muslim at least once in their life has to go to this place with like a huge square block thing.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called. But you have got to go there once in your life. That one. I forget what everything is called. But yeah.
That's like the idea, whereas like for instance,
Yeah. Yeah.
They would say the same thing. So
I feel like that's why we apply the other tests that we apply the Bible to those things. So like we apply reason to the Bible and then we apply that scholarship.
But don't they do that to them as well?
Yeah, but none of them are really exist.
What do you mean?
No, it's not. None of the other religious texts have any from the Bible.
Okay. Even the Quran? Yeah.
I'm trusting other people's experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like wouldn't their books essentially just fall apart if they were that untrustworthy? Like,
No,
so I guess if you build a big enough cult following, you will have that.
you pretty much have to be a really good promotional speaker, and then there you have a cult.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
That's true.
Especially because there's some fun branches of Christianity that are cults.
so I was keen to like just hear. I was having a great chat with Clancy before, and I was just keen to hear people's thoughts on any of those. Did anybody have any thoughts about other religious texts? And maybe like what? Did anybody have any thoughts on that? Yeah.
Well, I was just saying that you'd want to apply the other tests that you apply to the Bible
Yeah.
to those things. So
Yeah.
not this circular argument,
Yeah.
but whatever the other ones are that you use to substantiate the Bible, like historical
Yeah.
stuff like that. You want to apply that to those texts too.
Yeah, that's exactly where I would go as well. Because I think based on this logic and argument, you can use it to say, well, you can't dismiss the Quran and the Book of Mormon based on a circular argument alone. But I think there's like other tests that you can apply to them, like history, that can be used. Yeah, that's great. Did anybody have it? That's probably the main point I was made for myself. I don't think I have any thoughts. Did anybody have any thoughts on the really slippery and ultimately like the key question of all this about what a final authority even is? Like, yeah?
Yeah, well, I think when I was looking at the first questions, when I was saying that how I know the sun will rise tomorrow, I came to the conclusion that I don't know the sun will rise tomorrow, which means that you can either prove that the final authority is on the same basis as you prove the Bible, or you can disprove them on the same means. So I came to the conclusion that if I don't know the sun will rise tomorrow, I also don't know if I can trust the Bible, but then I have faith to check out. Ultimately, I'll get to a point in my reasoning where I will feel sure, and I just have to kind of trust. Like I'm acting, even though logically I might not know if the sun will rise tomorrow, I'm acting as if it will, I've planned my whole week out. And I'm acting into the truth of the Bible even though I don't logically know it. I just have faith that it will. You know.
That's deep. Yeah, I suppose that's probably touching on like the question, maybe like, can we know anything for certain? Because that's like an a priori question. Like that's a question you asked before this. I had a slide on it, but I decided not to go there. And yeah, like what can we know for certain? Like, can we know the sun will rise? Yeah, that's definitely.
That's in the field of uncertainty, surely.
What do you mean by that?
It's an error knowing. In the field of uncertainty. How does anybody know anything?
Yeah, that's like, so but there'd be some, probably like, is that? 4 minutes. Yeah, so but there would be some schools of thought that would say that we can't know anything. So I've literally read like a work that starts with, I am purely just writing words for fun because this doesn't mean anything because it doesn't make any claims to reality. And they went on to write like 30 pages worth of like stuff, and I'm just like you can like it's crazy, I know, but yeah, there is like probably maybe even I hate using the word like most like postmodernism would be influenced by the idea that there is no like objective reality that we can have. I don't find it convincing. Particularly Nick would know, like because like we've got a lecturer at uni who's a scientist, non-Christian, who would say the moment you start saying that there's like no objective reality, like you're actually stating a fact, but there's no facts, and you just end up in complete contradiction. But that's like there's like a whole like that's probably like most controversial question in like philosophy. Can we know anything? And so yeah, but I think you can definitely make a strong case that we can know things for certain. But yeah, probably actually the mainstream view, or maybe just the implicit assumption of like our culture is that you can't know anything. I think you can make a really strong argument.
You could decide to ignore the physical world, but it doesn't mean it ceases to exist.
I agree. Yeah, so what is the final authority? I think the main reason I just wanted to clarify that was just that I was talking to Clancy, and yeah, like there's just debates about whether there's only one, like, well, in philosophy they talk about the three, whereas I would say the fourth is the Bible. There's a debate over whether there's only one or whether there's three, and I suppose all I'm trying to maybe like suggest here is that a final authority might even have its own like domain, and so like for instance the Bible is the final authority, particularly on everything to do with God, I would say. And I think the Bible does speak to all of reality and pretty much every other domain of life, like definitely, but for instance I wouldn't appeal to the Bible as the final authority on I'm trying to say something that's not controversial. I don't know, how I should make a building. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not the final authority on things like that. Like, because it just doesn't speak to that. But pretty much like anything that the final authority speaks to. Maybe I'm not sure if that helps or just makes it more confusing. I'm just trying to clarify. It's a really slippery question, so I'm just acknowledging that I don't have all the answers there. Does the Bible actually claim to be a final authority? I think it does. Did anybody have any thoughts on how the other authorities, like experience, reason, and testimony, support it? Yeah?
So I was thinking about it, like, within testimony, the Bible is a testimony, really. Like, it's a story that has been handed down through generations, something that people have told each other. It's just a very large testimony that happens to have been recorded and attained a lot of support. The reason, I think, to me personally, it all makes a lot of sense. Like when you think about the great picture of like, the universe and everything, it kind of all makes His peace is an extension of his grace and love, his grace and salvation through Jesus, and this story of salvation is a testimony and the map of himself.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Andrew. And yeah, I totally agree. And you also kind of touched on the testimony thing, which it was really interesting that you pointed out that the Bible's actually got heaps of testimonies, and that's why some people argue the Bible isn't a circular argument, because they're like, well, actually, you've got like over 30 different writers in this one book, all pointing in the same direction. How is that like a circular argument? So you can kind of almost dismiss this presentation based on that, some people might. But anyway, I suppose that's time. So thanks heaps for listening, thanks heaps for engaging. I hope it was helpful. What?
We asked questions.
Yeah.
What do we have to be finished?
Oh, well, we've got to head back down. Yeah.
Lame.